When he took his top off and I saw his chest, I was thinking, Jesus.
I just thought he's going to get yellow cards, isn't he? That's what I thought.
Mohamed Salah, after many years of being the top scoring player in FPL, will not continue his reign at the top of the tree.
It's definitely time for his breakout season at age 34. Getting in over the World Cup winning Hugo Lloris.
It's better.
Welcome everyone. This is the All-In FPL show. We are back. I feel like every week I'm currently saying it's a double game week, but we're here again. I'd like to say we've also got a couple of elite people to talk us through it, to tell us what the best moves are to do, but nope, they are not found here, I'm afraid. But we do have Mr. Alex Doyle. How are you, Alex?
I'm good, thank you. That's a kinder intro than normal, to be fair.
I didn't have a normal one wrote, so I've had to come up with just something out of the blue. So
yeah,
you know,
you're a professional, so you can deal with it. You know, you can.
Yeah. If I do have 5 minutes, I like to come up with something a little bit more wittier and try and take you down a bit more, but it isn't to be, I'm afraid. But along with Doyle, we are here with the money man, richest man on the planet. It's Joshua Waldridge. How are you, Josh?
You're right, mate. I just want to say it is in my contract that you need to say World Fantasy Football Champion. So as long as you do that next week, that's okay. All right.
Champion of the world. How about that?
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect, mate.
That
How are you?
sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. So what have we got lined up today, then, Doyle?
Well, an episode featuring Josh's dodgy internet. We will start with another game week review where, shockingly, I topped the lot so far. We'll then follow in with a bit of chat about double game weeks. Seems like it's all we talk about at the moment, but it's every single week is a double week, and it's kind of hard to go on to different topics when that's kind of the pressing thing on everyone's mind every week. We'll then have a look forward to next game week and who we're looking to get in, what we're looking to do, what moves we're looking to make before we make a few little FPL related bets to round off the show. So let's get into it, shall we? We'll go.
What show?
Yeah, well, as ever, we'll start with Josh because, as usual, he has got the least amount of points so far this game week. Josh, what went wrong this week?
This is going to be a very quick one, actually. 52 minus 4, which is 48 points. I've got 4 players to play, which is 3 Man United and Gnonto. Luke Shaw got 5. Harry Kane got 8. Rashford got 24, who I think those three of the highest owned players on the game. And then everyone else blanked for me. So that's my 11 so far. Like I say, 48 total. And I'm going to be out of all my LMS leagues, I think. The running count on the Kepa to De Gea hit is 60 points, I think it's cost me. But there's more to come probably. So that's just the so far amount that it's cost me. I'm sure it'll increase as the weeks go on. And yeah, I'm just not really enjoying it, to be honest. How about you boys? Who's next? I presume it's JB because Doyle wins every other week.
Yeah, I don't think we should move on that quickly, Josh. I mean,
No, yeah, let's
do you not fancy picking some players that score points some of these weeks instead of picking all the crap ones that don't score any points? Have you thought about that? Or
the thing is, and I don't want to sound like I'm the best player or whatever, or like I know it better than everyone else, but my team on paper is better than everyone else's, and I don't understand what keeps happening. It is absolutely insane. Like Bruno Fernandes, he got a penalty this week. That's a different way of getting the fluky points. Let's see what happens next week. I'm sure like midweek, one will bounce off his fucking head or something, or one will ping off his arse into the goal or something like that.
So to talk us through your transfers, Josh, who did you bring in last week?
People are going to be like, how unlucky is this guy? Listen to this. I did Zaha, injured. Carvalho doesn't play. And Mitrovic, blanked.
That's good. That's like 2 points between 3 of them.
And just if anyone's wondering, that's Carvalho for Liverpool, yeah, not Ricardo Carvalho for Chelsea, because probably not many people know that person is.
It could be any other. Carvalho just means blank spot, basically. If I could have said Marcel Desailly, you know what I mean? I could have said anybody in that spot, but
right, we'll call him Ricky Carvalho then.
So Carvalho didn't have a fixture because he doesn't play. Zaha's injured for 6 weeks, and Mitrovic blanked away at Chelsea. I took those three out for a -4, so they scored 2 points,
Oh,
and I
that's
still
good.
didn't pay the hit back with the players I bought in, and I bought in Saka, Odegaard, and Gnonto. So to be fair, they did get 6 points between them. So break even on the hit with Gnonto to play. So I'm sure under new management he'll be absolutely deadly in front of goal, which he wasn't at the weekend.
He's never
But
played again, mate.
yeah. I mean, I just don't see how anyone can fault that hit. I literally bought in Arsenal's best two assets and Gnonto, who had a double for three players who essentially blanked or didn't play.
I think
And
I think I did say on the last podcast, Josh, and I think I quote that they were playing against the best team in the league now that Sean Dyche has come in, and you thought that that was a good fixture to bring in Arsenal assets against.
So, to be honest, Doyle, I knew they were going to blank this week based on the opposition, as you alluded to. But next week, they've got a double game week. So I thought I'd get ahead of the pack. I'd have the best two assets, which, while everyone else has got the likes of fucking Martinelli and Ben White, who don't even play anymore, literally, I've got Saka and Odegaard. And as you know, I've got an exciting transfer plan for this week as well. So I'm going to get someone that no one else has got for Arsenal. So I'm going to be ahead of the curve. I'm going to have the best three Arsenal assets. And the points will pour in this week. And I'll tell you why they'll pour in next week, because I'll already be out my LMS leagues, my last man standing leagues after this week. So next week, I'm going to have the best week out of everybody on the whole game. So I'm really excited for that. And I've got the good players. So yeah, I'm really excited.
I'll let you off the hook there. I think I nearly lost my tea on about four occasions during that. So shaping up to be a good show. Go on, JB, then. Let's have a look at yours.
Okay, yeah, a little bit better than Josh. Didn't take any hits either. I actually had two transfers and only used one in the end. So I was planning a -4 to get to get Bruno in, and I was going to get Rico Lewis in defence as well, and Nketiah up front.
That's pathetic, by the way.
But I did not do it. I don't mind that I didn't do it either, because Rico Lewis and Nketiah obviously got nothing. And I think just going forward, if I had Nketiah and Rico Lewis, it kind of feels like so much rotation, transfers waiting to happen with Jesus coming back. Bruno, obviously, I don't think you're going to want him long term with Manchester United's blanks. And where I had so many troubles in defence, I just brought in Gabriel for Cancelo. And I think that sets me up quite nicely now. I'm going to have two transfers next week. I'll have Gabriel, Saka, and probably Odegaard by next week, which I think are three really good Arsenal players to have. So I think my restraint was good, but my defence was still a mess because I had Reece James. I don't know where to start with it, to be honest. I was watching the game. It looked like we were going quite well in defence as well, so I was anticipating 2 clean sheets. I knew that James was going to start because we heard the leak. So he was straight in the team for Gabriel. I just felt there was a little bit more upside. And I thought he's going to get around 60 minutes. And the fact that he could come off early and we could then concede and he may get max bonus due to that. Plus, if he's on the pitch for 60 minutes, we know he's good going forward. He can get assists and goals. And then I saw Aspi taping up his hand on 58 minutes exactly. I knew he was coming on for James and that the sweat was on. And when I say the sweat was on, it genuinely was. My hands were clammy. I was like on the edge of my seat. The missus was talking to me about saying I completely blanked her. She had the ump with me for about an hour afterwards because of this. I was in the foulest mood. 59-30, I think it was. So yeah, 1 point there. But obviously we've all got Kepa in goal. I know he's so well owned now by like pretty much all the elite managers. Like anyone's got Kepa. So he did bring home 10 points, the bonus as well. So I was very pleased with that. I would have took 11 points from that game on the Friday night going into it. So that was okay. Rest of the game week, nothing really too good. Obviously, I got Rashford as captain, but a lot of people triple captained him. So probably works against me, that one. Martinelli decided a 59-pointer and he'd match James, so he was off for a 1-pointer. Mahrez as well, saw them two going off on 59 and thought I'll have some of that, and also went off on 58 minutes. So that was my hat-trick complete of the 1-pointers. And then Harry Kane bailed me out a little bit yesterday with his goal and a couple of bonus. Martial didn't play. Unlikely he's going to play against Leeds because I think he had a bit of a setback. So not too sure on that one. So I might get Gabriel's 2 points after all. So little bit uneventful, but Kepa's probably saved me there, just below average.
Yeah, you decided not to hit out Martial in the end then. Well, transfer out Martial even.
Well, it's because he scored in the cup on the Wednesday against Forest, and he come on. So I thought, well, look, he's going to play. He's in good goal scoring form. He's going to be better than Weghorst, even if he only gets one game. I'll probably take that at home to Palace or Leeds if he's involved in both of them 2 games. And then it's just a little bit easier going forward for me. But yeah, another injury. What do I expect from Tony Gloves?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Coming in, Doyle. Let's hear it. Top of the tree again.
Yeah, it's been quite hard winning. Coming top of the tree the last 3 weeks in a row now. I think it's getting a bit boring up here on my own.
I mean, still bottom of the table, but you know.
Well, for now, I thought I'd give you guys a bit of a head start to start the season. Make it at least competitive towards the end. 69 points, -8, so 61. So a decent week so far. We do have 4 players to play though. The Shaw, Rashford, Fernandes triumvirate, alongside the Magic Man, Patrick Bamford, who in my ultimate wisdom decided it was worth a -4 to do Kane to Bamford, which was, some would say punty. I would say genius. But unfortunately, he decided not to score against Nottingham Forest in his 66 minutes. So what can you do? What can you do? I'm sure he'll score against De Gea, though. De Gea concedes against everyone, so not super concerned there. Mitoma did the business again. He was the sort of big differential I had on the field, really, with his 11-pointer. I obviously captained Fernandes over Rashford, which was looking very good early doors. Ended up being a 2-point difference behind, but you've obviously got the other game to come, so I'm sure I'll score him there. Defence was 2 blanks along with Shaw, White and Trippier. And the only other thing to touch on really is Tony, who I thought was extremely unlucky to come away 1 point given the amount of chances he had in that game and potential assists, etc. So bit of a shame there, but overall another good week and shaping up to be another green arrow. So bring it on.
And what was the thinking behind Bamford? Was that just you wanted to be a bit differential? Because
he had 2 games. He had 2 games.
But over Notto, you just thought,
oh yeah, everyone's got Notto. Yeah, I just thought I'd take the guy playing through the middle.
Very Doyle move that is.
Who's
he's been playing well lately though.
Did you not need the money for that? Did you just do that at the end, Kane to Bamford?
Yeah.
So you've now got like 5 million in the bank or something?
Yeah.
You can see it. He just got excited and thought, "Oh, I could be a bit different here with Bamford." And then, it was just too tantalising for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, Forest. I was like, yeah, Forest on another game. I can make up 4 points against Kane against City. Obviously, Kane scored. But...
You will be taking him out this week, though, won't you? Now.
Yeah, probably straight to Nketiah, I think.
Yeah.
But I might hold him.
Yeah.
But just keep taking hits. You got extra games. It's fine. What can go wrong?
Yeah. I'm really excited when you land in 25 and you've got 4 players. That's going to be the bit I'm most excited to see. But,
this -8 was well worth it.
Because this week you're not even buying that many players for 25 because you're going to be selling Bamford, who's just plays 25, but he's just crap, and then selling someone else who,
I think I'll actually have to keep Bamford and sell Tony instead.
You really should, but I also don't think you should. So it's very interesting. It's I don't know what you're supposed to do.
I'll just hit them both out. Sod it. Bamford will score 4 goals midweek anyway, so he'll be worth it. He'll be fine.
Mitoma and Tony blank as well, don't they? So 3 United. Patterson's injured and crocked.
Trippier. Looking good.
Oh yeah, Trippier. Yeah, of course. Is anyone actually playing? It's easier to say who's playing in your team.
I've got 2 goalkeepers.
That's all right. We'll play one in defence then.
Yeah.
One up front.
Stick Ward up top. Will be fine.
Yeah. Captain Ward up front.
Yeah. Easy. Well.
Yeah.
Should we move on to double game weeks? What we think about it and what we're gonna not necessarily what we're gonna do, but how we're gonna approach it, I guess.
Double game week fever. I've been DM'd all week. I'm getting about 10, 15 DMs a day. Everyone wants hot or not back. Everyone's missing it. The hot topic, hot or not, but double game will be over soon, I can assure you, and then we will get back to our regularly scheduled programming.
That's the
won't we?
thing. It's just pointless. You can't do anything. That's why I hate this part of the season. Josh was saying how much he loves it 'cause he just gets to be a fixture nonce, and then just like getting the plan for the double game weeks. And I'm not like that. I want to bring in the form guys. I want to be doing hot or not, see who people like. What's going on. You can't
Live for
even
the
do it.
moment, like Matoma. No one brought him in, and look at him, 11 points for you.
You can't do any of
I'm
that
glad
now.
you.
Go on, Josh.
I'm glad you've accepted that this point of the season requires the least skill because it's just like a variance fucking vacuum, literally, where like it's basically like coin flips every week. Like it's like Bruno against De Bruyne, like one week, and then that obviously like loses me 10 points, and then De Gea against Kepa, who doesn't even have any fixtures, that loses me 30 points, and it's just like coin flips, literally. So yeah,
I never said it
do
didn't
agree with
require
you.
skill. I never said that. Don't get me wrong.
No,
I
you
think
did.
These are the
You-
most skillful weeks of the season in a way. Some would say that these last 3 game weeks actually determine who the best managers are. I mean, I don't necessarily prescribe to that personally, but it is quite definitive when you look at the numbers. But that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, it's just the weeks that have like the most narrow swings because, like I say, it's just like one guy against one guy because most people have got 5 of the same guys, for example, like guaranteed in these weeks. Whereas like in the single weeks, I think you do get a bit more diverse strategy because people will randomly like punt a Brentford player or like take a Nottingham Forest punt if they got 3 good fixtures or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, and of course we've all got to find a way to get Tarkowski in, haven't we, Doyle? I think after what we saw at the weekend. That was my favourite goal of the season so far. The McNeil to Tarkowski goal, which they haven't even existed up to this point in the season. And then Daishi comes back in and he fucking crosses it in on his head. In it goes 1-0. The Burnley boys are back.
Yeah, McNeil straight in the team sheet. Get Damari Gray out of there with his flicks and tricks. Stick behind McNeil and get
He's
the
not a
assist.
dash player, is he?
Yeah, it was quite weird because we actually like Everton played well against the big teams for a while. Like even under Lampard, we were doing well against the big teams, just crap against the small teams. So it'll be interesting to see how we shape up once we start when we have some lighter fixtures.
I think you've got a good team. I think it's just the motivation. It's getting the players up to play the game. Like you say, you've always done well against the big teams because the players get up for it because it's a big game.
Well, I think we
week
can
in, week
also
out
sit
motivation.
in. We can sit in against the big teams, and our team's well suited to like our defenders are suited to defend deep. You've got Cody and Tarkovsky who aren't blessed with pace, for instance. Coleman as well. So like they prefer it really when they get to defend really deep and then hit them on the counter.
They were saying this game, even though obviously like it was Arsenal, like you say, like sitting back and stuff, the players ran more and covered more ground in this game than any other game this season. Which just shows you, like a new manager come in, you think you've got to get off your ass and actually do something and create a good impression. Don't say much about the players what they was doing before, but it's understandable, I guess, if you do lose motivation, even if you have got the greatest manager in the world like Lampard, what are you gonna do?
Daishi will sit deep against the bad teams as well. I think I'm super confident. It's what he did at Burnley every single time. I think it suits you perfectly, to be honest. I think you just needed a guy who's brave enough to like sit you really deep because I really do think you will sit deep even against the crap teams.
I think that could be all right with target man up front as well, like Calvert-Lewin, lump the ball up to him, like.
Yeah, it needs Calvert-Lewin to stay fit. If he gets injured, we're screwed. Like when Mope came on.
Mope ain't holding the ball up and stuff like that.
It was untrue. Yeah.
I think you can make it through though with the combination of the good manager and the good defense. Honestly, I think you don't need that many goals. Like I think he's done it before with the same setup. Like it might not be like away. Well, to be honest, it should be away. You're used to at Everton because the strikers never score any goals for Everton. But just get the goals from the set pieces and stuff. Like put the good delivery in. Obviously, get some from midfield, and I think you'll be okay even with the donkey up front. Genuinely, I think this was a really good appointment to like the perfect time.
What's happening with Michael Keane? Is he injured or is he just shit now and dropped?
He's just shit. He's been dropped for the last year and a half.
Will he come back in the fold now? Because he was
Dyche
before, weren't he? He feels like he could be like
Yeah, I imagine Dyche will like Cody and Tarkovsky there more, won't he?
Maybe he'll play the 3 of them. Can you imagine? That's 3 proper Dyche players. That is.
Yeah.
Hat trick of headers every game.
Yeah, we have Mina on the bench as well. To be fair, We look better going forward though as well. To be fair, like even
You know,
go on, Josh.
that's what I was going to say.
I think we're losing Josh here.
Oh, that's such a shame. That is.
No, it's going to mean
No, he's
like
back.
has like two. He's like an option.
Yeah, someone's an option basically.
All I said was Mina's like a good option.
Mina's a good
Yuri
option.
Mina's good.
That might be the last
Okay.
But he
contribution we get from
plays
Josh's
2 games,
podcast.
then gets.
To be fair, it's probably the gods from above, isn't it? Because we've spent way too long talking about Everton, and one ain't really an FPL option unless we're suddenly going to all steam Tarkowski into our team. But
And McNeil. It could be McNeil to Tarkovsky every game at this rate.
Yeah. But anyway, shall we move on from Everton? I don't even know, how did we get on to Everton?
My mind's always on Everton.
Give it a couple of weeks though. Once Hot or Not's back, we'll have it'd just be Everton, wouldn't it? It'd just be all the players hot, hot, hot.
Yeah, that's what we thought about. The fact that all you can talk about now is double game weeks. It's very bland.
Yeah.
But
Oh, and if we get Hot or Not back, we can have our sound thing as well. Feeding hard, hard, hard. We ain't had
yeah,
that in a
I
while,
need
have
to
we?
get some more sound drops going. I was
We really
thinking that
do,
I need to
yeah.
get some more
That's when
sound drops
we're at our
playing.
best.
It'll come. It'll come.
Right.
We need a double game week sound drop. Maybe that's the problem. We need a double. Toil and trouble. But the teams playing this week then. Josh, what are the doubles? You're the fixture man.
Oh, don't you worry. Man City have got a double, and Arsenal have got a double. I think Man City have got Villa and Arsenal have got Brentford and Man City. I think. I
And
hope that's right.
Yeah, no, that's right. Do we expect any rotation for Man City? So Champions League's the week after, so we don't have to worry about that. So it'd just be the usual Sunday to Wednesday game that they're playing. At home against Villa and then away to Arsenal. You'd imagine, even with Arsenal though, I mean, we saw it this week with KDB, big game, Tottenham, you think, right, okay, the best players are nailed, and he's on the bench. So,
Well, I did say on the last podcast, that Josh denies, I did say the last time they played, Kevin De Bruyne was on the bench. And again, when they played, Kevin De Bruyne was on the bench because it's tactical. When he plays against 5 at the back, they play 2 strikers and don't play Kevin De Bruyne. I would be shocked if Kevin De Bruyne did not start both the next 2 games. I would not sell him. And I'm probably going to bring him back in, to be honest with you, after selling him last week for a hit. I'll probably go straight back there. Here's my,
Oh, don't be stupid. You can't buy him again now.
Why? Why wouldn't you buy him?
Well, number one, you shouldn't have sold him. But number two, like is this the Bruno?
I'll take my 8 points of Bruno. Yeah, well, 10 points. Sorry, so far against Bruno's 1.
But last week you said you wouldn't sell Bruno under any circumstances, didn't you? Before 25, you said his fixtures are amazing, and he's amazing.
I did, but then everyone doesn't like De Bruyne now, so people aren't going to bring him in, which means I want to bring him in and possibly captain him. So there's that.
he did look quite involved when he come on the pitch yesterday. It was, he's at the centre of everything again, putting balls in and looked dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. He's a great player. And like I say, it was a tactical dropping. I don't envision it happening against either Villa or Arsenal, particularly now he's had his rest. So he'll be fully rested going into Villa, not dropping against Arsenal. So
he is gonna do something mental with the team this week, though. I just know he is. He's gonna do something really weird. It might not be De Bruyne specifically. He's gonna do something fucking weird. I can feel it. Like when he starts losing matches like this,
Mahrez will be back out.
Yeah, he spirals a little bit, and like you say, it'll be some sort of, it'll be like Rodri at centre back or something. It'll be something really weird this week. I can feel it. Like he's gonna like change the defense a little bit or something. Like I can feel it this week.
Yeah, it was Rodri's mistake that led to the goal, right? A ridiculous passing to Lewis. Very poor. Maybe he comes out. Is Calvin Harris fit at the moment, or is he still? He's
sort of been lingering about, hasn't he? He's like on and off. I don't know. Maybe he just still needs to get his fitness up.
Yeah, maybe he's the one that comes in or something crazy like that. He seems to really like Grealish at the moment. I think he's a pretty good option, to be honest with you. People looking for something a bit different as well.
It's been pretty nailed as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's
just him and Motta, especially with Foden injured. He was sick again. I think he wasn't well. He did travel with him at the hotel, but he wasn't well, so he played no part again.
Yeah, so I think he could be a pretty good option, Grealish. But yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting because I think a lot of people like myself have only 2 City players, particularly now that Cancelo's gone. And I think some people won't bring in a third, which seems pretty crazy to me. It's obviously tough with City to find the right players because of all the rotation, but obviously they're probably the best team in the league still, most explosive team. So I would personally heavily advise that everyone has 3 City going into the game week, regardless of how many hits it will take.
They've got Bournemouth and Forest, the 2 games after the double as well.
Yeah,
It's not bad, is it?
It's as good as it gets. Like, it's as good as it gets as a 3-week sample. The double, then those 2 fixtures. Like, you just want 3, and you want 3 nailed ones if you as much as you can with this team. So I think Ake and Akanji are both still really good. I think Lewis, even with the discount, is pretty good. I don't think that's terrible. And as you say, De Bruyne, Haaland, probably still risk one of Mahrez or Grealish, and then that's your pot, isn't it? I think really that's all you can go to, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, I think even if you don't play, even if Grealish or Mahrez don't start, say he benches Mahrez in one of them, he's still going to come on for 30 minutes or so, and you see it all the time. If Manchester City are at home to Aston Villa on Sunday, Mahrez could come on in 30 minutes and do something. He could score, get an assist, so that wouldn't put me off.
You
He was super close as well as on Sunday, wasn't he? He hit the bar.
Hit the bar, yeah.
So, sounds like you were trying to convince yourself and JB because you've got him, haven't you? I think so.
Yeah, I'm just putting a positive spin on it for myself, so that I'm happy that he's in my team.
Yeah, he'll get 59 minutes one game and then 30 in the other. That sounds good to me. That's pretty ideal.
If we could have either 3 Arsenal for this double or 3 City for this double, you could only choose one of the 2. Who would you go for?
Me and Doyle will say opposite answers.
It's very tough. It's very, very tough.
Remember, Arsenal at home to Brentford as well, which is.
But you can't have any of the others. So you could literally have it'd be like 0 City and 3 Arsenal, or vice versa.
Yeah,
you got to go City then, right? Because you can't get about Haaland.
Yeah, I don't think Haaland counts. I think it should it should be 3 and 1 because like everyone's got Haaland. It's like it's not even like you can't even imagine life without him anymore.
Yeah, so I guess you could say like in this situation, say you've got 1 transfer, you can only use 1 transfer, and you've got 2 of each team, for instance.
Yeah, who would you get third then?
A third. I think you'd probably bring in. I think everyone should have De Bruyne and Haaland or something like. I think De Bruyne and Haaland actually. I just think those 2 are just very important to have. So I'd go if you don't have either of them with that. But the other Arsenal assets are better than the other City assets.
And I think the problem is long term you want to hold Arsenal because they don't blank at all, and they're so cheap. They're just so integral to everyone's team because of the price. So they're obviously returning at such a good rate as well. I think Saka's been knocking around all season, and a lot of people have had him. But I think people are now looking at Saka thinking he's almost a season keeper at 8 million or whatever he is, 8.2 maybe or something now. He's just such a great player, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not. I'm not on the team of sell Martinelli at all costs either. To be honest with you,
I weren't. I was with you on Martinelli, and that was another reason I thought I'll just keep him to see how it went. But after this weekend, off on 59 for Trossard, it wouldn't surprise me on Saturday at home to Brentford if we look at the lineup and Trossard starting ahead of Martinelli. Maybe in Arteta's mind, they play Man City a few days later. He might be saving Martinelli for that and just give Trossard a run out this weekend.
I'd be very surprised personally. I think Martinelli's a better player than Trossard.
I do. I just think there's a little bit. I think there's a little bit of doubt there now. I could see 1 every 3 games him starting Trossard just to give someone a rest, and that would probably be Martinelli. Because Trossard's a good player.
He's all right. He came on. Did you see his corners when he came on? Hit the first man every single time. Pretty much, it was awful. Very weird.
Classic subs thing that is like when you come off the bench and you're not ready for games. Like she just shows he needs to be starting really, so he doesn't have that rust off the bench. You know what I mean? So
looking ahead to this game week as well, like just from a football perspective, what a game we got with Liverpool Everton. Are you looking forward to that one, Doyle?
Yeah, I mean,
what a
always
time
nice
to
to-
play him, eh?
yeah, a fellow relegation rival. So a proverbial 6-pointer, really. We can drag them back into the race and
Get
get
Klopp the sack.
ourselves towards it. So
Going in
yeah.
as favourites as well, Doyle.
Yeah, it'll be. I wouldn't be shocked if we won that one. To be honest with you, given how Liverpool are playing, they just look so toothless up front. It's unreal. I've never seen a Liverpool team like this. They just don't look like they can score. Every time they get in the box, they just Salah
We'll
can't hit a barn door again.
we'll clip the bit from last week where we literally like analysed it from defence forwards all the way through the team, where it was like it's just atrocious in every position. The two centre backs can't cope without Van Dijk in the team, and even he wasn't playing well. But
Yeah,
like Matip and was it Gomez played at the weekend?
Yeah, Kanate
Yeah.
was injured.
Gomez
Oh,
was really, really bad.
oh my word, that centre back pairing isn't even like at Prem level. Like when you play them together, it's not even like a Premier League centre back pairing. It's absolutely appalling. Matip had one of his worst games I've ever seen for
Oh,
Liverpool. He
that
needs
first
Van Dijk
half.
there. Yeah, he needs Van Dijk next to him. Trent can't defend. Keep saying it. Keeps getting exposed, even by Wolves this week. Like just
I
Wolves
thought
don't.
Robertson looked worse this week, actually. I thought Robertson was really, really poor watching on Match of the Day, and he wasn't coming out to the players. It was just very strange.
The thing is, as well, Robertson always gets subbed off for Simicast. There's like a natural like threat there to that position. Like
Yeah.
it seems like Trent's still safe is the problem. Like it's like because the centre back injuries mean Gomez can't play there, for example. I don't think he wants to play Milner there, and sometimes has to play him in midfield anyway because of the injuries there. It's just like they're
Yeah, I don't think he's the biggest problem either at the moment, to be fair. It's just all so bad. It's really strange because it's like it's at a stage now where like any other team would sack them, obviously, but because he's been there so long, what can you do? Like the players clearly aren't motivated. Like they're just
And Gakpo coming in hasn't really done anything. Nunes, as much as we keep saying that he's getting in the right positions, he clearly ain't putting the ball in the net. He just cannot finish.
yeah.
I don't know whether that will change, whether it's a confidence thing or not, but it just hasn't helped. And you think they haven't had Jota, Luis Diaz, and Firmino? That's like, I know, obviously Salah plays up there, but that's their three strikers really. That's so integral to their team, them three. And without them, they're just, now Van Dijk's injured as well. They just look a shadow of their team from 12 months ago.
Yeah, when I watch as well, I think Thiago is a massive issue in that team. I just watch him and he's not got the energy, he's not got the pace. He a lot of the time looks like he can't be asked in my eyes, but
He's a funny player. Sometimes he looks like a Rolls Royce of a player, like he's got so much control. But sometimes I do think you're right. He don't seem to put himself about enough, and
he's more like a finishing piece when there's a good
there's
team.
not enough
See what I mean?
energy about him. Yeah, no, I agree.
It's problems across the whole team. I think some of the strikers coming back will inject a bit of spark into the team because they're all quite lively players, like all three of them. So I hope, and I think
They
two
need
of
the
them are close.
competition. Yeah.
Diaz isn't close, but the other two are quite close. So I think that might, like with Diaz and with Jota and Firmino back, that might inject like a bit of competition. Also, just putting better players on the pitch at the moment because I think those two are just better than Gakpo and Nunes.
And I think that's going to help Robbo as well. That's partly why Robbo ain't playing as well, because he hasn't got players around him when he's going forward who are holding the ball up and helping him basically.
I think Diaz is a massive one that's missing. I think he's a very good player.
He's the only one
but he dropped off a little bit at the start of the season as well. Like none of those guys have. Firmino played relatively well. He was scoring goals, but apparently he wasn't playing that well when he was scoring goals. To be fair, at the start of the season, all three of those weren't in terrific form before they got injured either. So it'll be interesting when they come back to see if it does give them that spark or not.
I think we have to give Firmino some credit because he was finally doing his job of putting the ball in the net, which is what he's been criticised for not doing in the past. So I think we have to say Firmino's had a very, very good season when he's played, but the others, not so much. Like Luis Diaz is a good player, but unfortunately he's injured for still quite a bit longer, I think. So he's not really relevant. He's not really in the picture. Jota I always rate, but I think his best role is off the bench, actually. Like with him, I think he's a better impact sub, personally. He can obviously do a job starting, but I think he will do well off the bench as well. So he just adds a bit more like energy off the bench. So yeah.
But yeah. Do you think I've got any FPL picks there, lads? If you had Salah, would you hold him?
Even I would be selling Salah at the moment, to be honest. I'd sell him for Mitoma at the moment for 4.9 million or whatever he is. I think the only way Liverpool are going to come back into our thoughts is if they do get a double at some point in the next few weeks or whenever it might be. Someone said 25. I don't know whether that's right or not, but if they do, obviously people are going to jump on Liverpool players then. But until their form improves, I don't think you can pick any of them, to be honest. Even when their strikers get back, they'll be eased in. There'll be so many options up front, so they'll be rotating players. It's just no chance. No chance.
Yeah, they are definitely no touch
So,
at the
so in
moment.
summary, we think a Liverpool 3-0 win over Everton on Monday.
Probably. We'll get them back into form.
It's a cracking
Everton.
weekend of football. You've got Liverpool Everton derby, obviously top of the table battle with Arsenal and Man City, with the second
Well, it's
game
not
of
the
the double.
weekend, isn't Wednesday, but yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But
And Liverpool Everton's also not the weekend now. It's on
in
Monday.
this game week, I'm talking about this game week. So the next round of fixtures, you got the Liverpool Everton derby, Arsenal Man City battling for the title. Got the M23 derby, Crystal Palace v Brighton. I know everyone loves a bit of that, and everyone gets behind that. Massive London derby between West Ham and Chelsea, two of London's finest. And then you got Leeds and Man United, which is always spicy as well. That'd be the return game because they play each other twice in the same week. Should be a good game of good week of football.
Yeah. Yeah. West Ham obviously need a result as well. They got a draw against Newcastle, didn't they? 1-1.
Yeah, 1 week before, so I think Moyes' got a little bit more time, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think that'll be okay. I think in terms of relegation, I'm pretty confident now that I know who's getting relegated. It's Leeds, Bournemouth, and Southampton, and there's no other answer. I think. Oh, we just found out today that Jesse Marsh got sacked, right, as well. So they're really screwed now. Now that poor Jesse's gone. I think he was very hard done by personally.
Not if they get King Carlos, mate. They'll fucking win the league if they bring in our manager. I'll tell you that. He is unbelievable tactically. He's so good. He's like I don't know how to compare him to Bielsa, but I don't think it's a fair comparison to compare him to Bielsa because he is so much more tactically like astute than Bielsa is. Literally,
Not just all out attack.
Yeah, exactly. Same impact that Dyche's going to have on Everton, Carlos had on our team. Literally, just going from Steve Bruce, who has no tactics whatsoever, to a guy who like puts all the players so they know their exact roles within a team situation. It sounds so simple, but we've turned around and I'll be gutted if we lose him to Leeds, but I think it's going to happen, to be honest. So I do expect Leeds to actually like improve if they hire him, to be honest.
How are West Brom doing now?
We just lost that one game to Burnley, mate. So we've won 9 of the last 11 in the league. We're 5th place. Oof. We are absolutely outstanding. We came from bottom of the league when he signed King Carlos, and we're now in 5th place. Absolutely unbelievable manager.
Sounds like you just need one final push. Maybe like you get Brucey in. Steve Bruce will do a job for you. He's proven, tried and tested.
I'd get him in next year if you go up. Get rid of this Carlos loser and
too fancy for the Premier League.
Get a trusted manager like Steve Bruce.
Bruce will shore up the defence. Make sure you stay up. A couple of 1-0 wins. Make the Hawthorns a fortress.
We don't want Frank Lampard. That's all I want to say on the matter. Please.
If you want to get into push for Europe, get Frank in. He's had a rough ride, poor Frank. Players given up on him at Everton. Succeeded at Derby. Done a great job at Chelsea. Top of the league for the first 3 months, and then shoestring budget got us into Europe the first season. Let's not go into it. I don't want to go into it.
You know who I really like, who gets a lot of stick, actually? Ralph Hasenhüttl. I think he's an amazing manager, by the way. I think he's a top manager. Yeah. He'll get a really good job at some point.
I like Ralph. I wanted him at Everton before we got Dyche.
He's one of those managers. Southampton have always been crap, innit? He ain't had much to work with. So you can't expect too much of him. That's the problem. And I think he actually done a good job for while he was at Southampton.
His replacement's had a proper breakdown as well, hasn't he? Did you see that? Blaming the players or that sort of, the players told me what to do or something like that. Absolutely pathetic. He'll be gone very soon as well.
Because I was talking to like a Southampton manager. I know we're going a bit off topic, but I was talking to a Southampton fan, by the way. Sorry.
We don't have topics, Josh. It's fine.
Yeah, and
we saying Southampton manager.
I know. I was talking to a Southampton fan.
Glenn O'Donnell. Yeah, you've had Glenn on the phone.
Yeah, and I was like, like who's actually good in this team? You know what I mean? Like who's actually a good player? Because I think Ralph Hasenhüttl was working miracles with what he had there. To be honest, they've got crap defenders, crap goalkeepers, crap strikers, and they've got James Ward-Prowse. That's all they've got literally. And Lavia's pretty good as well. Lavia, your boy JB, the one from Chelsea, isn't he? He's a really, really good player, but he's only 19 years old. So again, they've got
couldn't believe it. I was watching Match of the Day, and I was sort of like, on my phone and stuff. Then I look up, and it's Theo Walcott running through on goal.
Yeah, I know, come back.
I couldn't believe it.
Someone else said the same thing about Walcott. Literally, they were like, "I didn't know he still existed." He was like, "I can't believe he's still in the team."
I assumed he'd retired like 3 years ago.
Yeah, he started as well, I think, didn't he? Because he was involved a lot early on, I think.
I think he did,
Did
unless
he
he played fullback. I looked at the team and he wasn't in the front six sort of thing. But yeah, like that team is an absolute joke. It's so bad. It's like, and they've got Ward-Prowse, who's a really, really top class player, and then they've got like a decent central midfield, but all the other positions are really weak, man. Like so weak.
Yeah, I just can't see them staying up unless they can make a really good signing as a manager now. Same with Bournemouth, who actually looked quite good at the weekend against Brighton, I thought, on Match of the Day. They had a few chances on the counter, looked okay, but they just can't score goals either. I don't think they're strong enough defensively, so I think they're down. And then, it's just hoping that Leeds don't get some sort of bounce with after taking West Brom's manager.
I did like the look of was it Uatara? Is that how you pronounce it for Bournemouth? He looks pretty
the
decent.
winger. Yeah, I found him a monster. Yeah.
I feel like we've spent a lot of time now talking about Bournemouth, Everton, Southampton. So maybe we should move on to the game week preview and have a look at our teams.
Yeah, let's do it then. Let's do it.
And then by doing that,
one more first. City v Arsenal. Who are you backing? Give us a scoreline.
I don't fancy City after the way they played against Tottenham, to be honest. I'd back Arsenal with a draw, so I'll go 2-1 Arsenal.
Josh? How the hell do you come off mute these days? I think Man City will win 3-0.
Yeah, I think City.
How about you, Doyle?
City, but closer, 2-1.
Okay. I just think the atmosphere would be so good. It's probably going to be the best atmosphere that there has ever been at the Emirates.
Yeah, I just think City are used to these big games now. Arsenal used to them.
I went to the Killers at the Emirates and it was a really good atmosphere. It was really, really good. Sam Fender was on as well. He introduced everybody. It was really top. Me and Louisa were raving, woo. So I think that'll be better than getting a few happy clappers there on Wednesday night. But,
that's going into the new intro clip when I redo it.
Like that.
It'd be nice if you could include it, Doyle. By the way, at some point, that'd be great if you could include.
Well, you got to keep the
old one,
don't you? You got to get the fans guessing. Is the intro going to be in there? Is it not going to be in there? Who knows? I might get an outro at some point. Who knows? That's going to go crazy. Crazy. I'll also sometimes put it on Spotify and sometimes not as well. I like to keep people guessing with a podcast version as well, whether it goes up or not. So we'll try and get that one done this week.
But right, fun game to finish off this section with the double game weeks. The question is, would you hit this player in, yes or no? Okay. Odegaard.
Yes.
JB?
I know it's like a fun game and I'm going to ruin it here, but it depends on how your team is and how you're set up going forward. How difficult a question is that?
Spoiler, my answer to every single one will be yes.
I'm going to say no for Josh's game.
Yeah,
no.
Thank you. Saka.
Yes.
No.
Oh, JB, you are a fucking nit, mate. Then again, you didn't think it was worth hitting Martial out, so we got to weigh it up. Like, do you know what you're on about? You know what I mean? It's like it's a really weird one.
Neither of you hitting Bamford, so I don't think it's just either of you guys. Jesus.
No, I hit Gnonto in, to be fair. So, Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
No.
Mahrez.
No. I wouldn't hit anyone.
Just how can you say no?
Well, you're taking a hit for the extra game, which is Arsenal v Man City. So that's 4 points. So you need the player you're bringing in to return just for that.
Yeah, but they're good players as well.
you can factor in 25 as well. It's a bit more than that right
Well,
now.
this is what I'm saying. It depends on your team, doesn't it? If you've got enough players to cover 25, then yes. But if it isn't, then it's a hard question to answer, really. You need more context, I think. But we're elite level on FPL. Like the FPL fans, they need like proper context, you know.
Nah, just hitting everyone. He'll probably come out okay in the end.
Can't just say yes or no hit. Otherwise, people going willy-nilly with hits and stuff and screwing their team over.
Yeah. And
Can't
then
they
you
be
get
like Doyle and bring in Bamford?
all I'm saying, JB took a -8 and he was top for the week. There you go.
Well,
There's
61 points to be fair. I mean,
Still
only a
top.
couple of points ahead.
Still top.
And you've only got 2 players in 2 weeks' time. So
Yeah, I'll take a -12 there and finish top as well.
This
So
is
you
why
will.
Doyle's saying they're all worth hits, to be fair, because he needs to get
He
rid of
needs
all
them.
of his 25 players. So it's like,
exactly.
of course
Yeah.
they're worth hits, yeah. But I think they're all worth hits as well, for sure. Not Mahrez. I wouldn't hit Mahrez in. I would hit De Bruyne, Saka, Odegaard in, and maybe Nketiah if you've got a shit striker. I think Tony to Nketiah for Doyle, for example, makes a lot of sense.
There's
I
no
think,
worries about Jesus, is there?
Not yet, but
I
I
don't
think
think
a couple
so.
of weeks maybe he'll be back.
That's plenty of time for Doyle. Doyle only keeps everyone for 1 week.
He'll have 3 strikers in that position by the time he comes around.
Yeah, and for like Martial to Nketiah, JB, come on, that's obviously worth a hit. Like where Martial blanks in 25 and doesn't even play anyway. Like, I mean, come on.
I don't think I'd be hitting in Nketiah because I think you're going to have to take him back out in a few weeks. I'd rather make sure that I'd have a defender or a midfielder who can play to make up my 11 and get an Arsenal defender for a hit, for instance.
This
I'd rather have
is why it's the
Gabriel
most skillful
than
time of the
Nketiah.
year, Josh, like we said. Most skillful time of the year.
JB, can you bring Becky in the room for a second, please? Because I'm of the suspicion that Tony Martial has got her captive at the moment. Like, based on how much you want to keep him in your team, it's absolutely mental. I just don't understand what's going on.
I thought you were going to ask her to confirm whether he had any balls or not.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Actually, I should have done that as well.
Tony Gloves will be staying.
There was plenty of options with that one. The point is, we need Becky in the room right now for many, many reasons. All right, but
okay,
yeah.
With that, we'll move on to next game week. We know JB's rolling then. He's not making any transfers. So Josh
burning. JB's burning. Sorry, he's got 2. Remember,
I'm playing Matt Doherty at the back again. He's back in. Play safe. Play safe.
Yeah, Josh, we will start with you there because I've got your team up now.
So. Mine is exceptionally boring, and I'll tell you why, because I've already set my team up perfectly for this week. So I've got my bus team at the moment is De Gea in goal. Akanji's got a double, obviously. Trippier's got Bournemouth. Shaw's got Leeds. Rashford's got Leeds. Odegaard, De Bruyne, Saka. I've got the best 3 double game week assets in midfield. And then I've got Andreas, who's got Forest at home. And then I've got Haaland captain and Harry Kane up front. And my transfer will be David De Gea to Ramsdale. How boring and how predictable is that for me? But that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to have the best 3 Arsenal assets, the best 3 Man City assets, and all the best single game week assets. So I cannot see this week going wrong, and I am excited to find out how it does.
Should we play how many more points does De Gea score over Ramsdale this game week?
Oh, it's you've got
Actually,
to
not even this
10.
game week. Over the next 2 game weeks, even though De Gea blanks next week, I think he'll still outscore Ramsdale somehow.
No, it doesn't blank next week, though. It's the week after. You've still got a fun week to play in between.
Oh wow, I've got ages then. I don't have to worry about 25. What are you on about? I've got I take so many hits in that time.
The thing where I think you're going to fall down is you really need to roll in 24, and I think that's going to be the problem. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Are there any double game weeks?
What was your moves, Josh? What was you gonna do?
I'm doing De Gea to Ramsdale, mate.
Yeah, okay.
I would
the rest
play
of my team's
Kinder
too good.
Bueno over Andreas, personally. Oh no, he doesn't play, does he? He's benched. Sorry. Don't do that.
Play who?
I was going to say to play Bueno over Andreas, but Bueno doesn't play. So
yeah, he doesn't play anymore. My bench is, I mean, I did gloss over the bench. I did just talk about the 11 because I'm so proud of the 11. But the bench is dog shit. It's so bad. Like, it's a Nonto Bueno who doesn't play and Doherty who plays for a Spanish team.
Nonto Bueno. Sounds very,
it's literally no bueno at the moment.
No bueno.
Doherty and Bueno, yeah. It's like, it's just no bueno. And I do, look, I know I joked about Doyle's spot, but I do have a couple of issues for 25 because I'm less on the Brighton and Newcastle boys, but I do have Doherty and Bueno, who I'm worried about like their minutes now, especially Doherty, who's probably going to get 0. So I think I've got some defensive problems before 25, but the rest is absolutely perfect. So I'm not worried about the comeback.
Yeah, I was going to say you could do Doherty to like Zinchenko or something instead, but then you've still got actually is that better?
It is better, mate. But I'm 0-1 off, unfortunately, because I missed the fucking price rise.
I
That
actually
was my
realised
transfer.
midway through saying that and decided to carry on going.
That was my transfer. That was going to be my transfer. But we can't. You have to respond to setbacks in this game, which is why I'm such a really good player. So like I'm now going to do De Gea to Ramsdale and fix a different problem instead. So yeah, I still want the triple Arsenal. I think they're really good. And obviously like
better. Because you'd have had Danny Ward in goal for 25 already. You've been okay with that.
I still wouldn't have had a 28 goalkeeper though. So to be fair, Ramsdale does cover that because De Gea and Ward both don't play.
Yeah, but you'll be through about 5 different goalkeepers between now and then, mate.
No, Ramsdale's here to stay now. This is the last goalkeeper transfer of the season. I know I said that last week, but
He's
this
to break
is
his leg in the first game.
one.
That's how it's going to go wrong.
This is the last one.
I don't even know what goalie you have these days. Like you had Ward for so long, then suddenly you had Kepa, then De Gea, now Ramsdale. Like it's
not fair.
merry-go-round.
And you know what I've discovered as well? So like I mentioned last week that I didn't take any hits week 1 to 16. You know why? Because I had the same 2 fucking goalkeepers for all of weeks 1 to 16. I just didn't do it. I was cold turkey. I said no more goalkeeper transfers. We're done with that game. 17's come around. We've had a break at Christmas. We've all been watching Emi Martinez in the World Cup do his jiggly hands and all that. And suddenly I'm addicted to him again. I've had Kepa, I've had De Gea, I've had Ramsdale. I'm going to go through the whole of the fucking traditional top 6 the way we're going for the rest of the season. So, yeah, Ramsdale here to stay till my wild card. I promise you that. Unless a cheaper option becomes available.
You know how some like you're watching the game and they like Harry Kane scores and you're like, oh, this is the 18th Premier League club Harry Kane scored against, or Shearer's now scored against all 20 Premier League clubs. Like soon we're getting to the stage where it's like, and Josh is hitting the 20th goalkeeper from all 20 Premier League clubs. He's done it. He's had a goalkeeper from every single team. We're not far off, are we?
You wait till Fraser Forster gets the number 1 shirt. He will be straight in. He will be literally like straight in. There's no way I can't.
And I guess we don't need to talk about captaincy.
I have thought about it for more than a second this week. I think if Bruno scores another couple, I'm going to be sufficiently tilted where I'd go for Saka or Odegaard, probably Saka. But I think the best option for almost everybody would be Erling Haaland. Yes.
Yeah.
Even I'm struggling to get off Haaland this week, as it stands.
That's because you're ahead of me now. We got to switch strategies.
I've got to lock it up. JB, what are you doing this week?
So I've got my 2 free transfers because I'm super boring. So the team you can see now is actually going to change a fair bit. So I'm going to, an absolute luxury transfer. I'm going to take out Martinelli for Odegaard, just because going forward, I think over the next 5, 6, 7 game weeks, Odegaard's going to be nailed. I don't want to have a issue when the team sheet comes out and Martinelli isn't playing, or you're watching the game, second half comes around, you get to 60 minutes and you start worrying about Martinelli. So I'm just going to switch him for Odegaard. I think long term that might pay off, hopefully. And Martial will be on the screen at the moment, but he's going to drop to the bench. I'm not getting rid of him because obviously the hostage situation with Becky, but I'm going to ship out Doherty as he now lives in Spain, so he's no good to me. And I'm going to bring in, wait for it, your boy Akanji, I believe, will be coming into my team. Just because I think he's going to be nailed now, hopefully, as nailed as someone can be in Pep's team. And he gives me another option going forward for the next few weeks with the blanks and things like that. Obviously, Doherty, no use to me. So
I don't think he's not like. I think this could be the week he get disappeared from the team forever.
Oh, don't say that.
They've got Laporte and Diaz on the bench. Josh said earlier he's going to do something wild. I think it might be Akanji's time to vamoose for the rest of time.
We'll see. He's
He
been all right
loves
though,
it.
Akanji. I think he's been playing quite well. He didn't make.
Yeah.
He wasn't the one who made the mistake or anything for the goal. So, yeah. So yeah, team don't look too bad. I'll be happy with Mahrez, Haaland, and Akanji for the double for City, and then I'll have Gabriel, Saka, and Odegaard from Arsenal, which I think is pretty decent. Happy, like I said, with Gabriel going forward, that he's a nailed player, unlike Nketiah and Martinelli. Yeah, and the rest of the team looks decent. I'll have Shaw and Rashford, Trippier with a good fixture against Bournemouth. Harry Kane's Harry Kane. And I think on the bench, I'll have Reece James. I'm still a bit worried, especially away to West Ham, that they're only building up his fitness, trying to make sure he's all right for Europe and stuff. But yeah, James will be on the bench, and Andreas has got a great fixture against Forest at home, and he'll be on the bench. So I think that the strength on the bench probably shows how amazing my team is at the moment. So yeah, even better than Josh's.
I think you shouldn't do that.
Go on, here we go. Who's Kepa going out for?
No, if I was you, I would get Grealish and Nketiah for Martial and Martinelli if you were to sell Martinelli.
No chance. I feel like at this stage of the season, I really want now to players who now some blanks are coming up.
You've got Mahrez.
I just think, yeah, I know Morris is there already, so I'm happy to keep him, and he has been playing really well. But I think if you
Then Akanji's coming in, Akanji and Mahrez, he wants for the nailedness.
I feel that Akanji
Mahrez is there already. He just popped up in the team. It wasn't to do with him. He was just there already. He's just there
Akanji's much more nailed, I think. Akanji's much more nailed, and I've obviously got Gabriel, Trippier, James, and stuff. So I'll have 5 playing defenders. Like a lot of people still have Cancelo, Doherty knocking about. So
No,
yeah, I just think going forward, it's a bit more solid, the team. And I'll have a bench to cover anyone who don't play. So, and I'll be set for the blanks.
I'm nervous about Akanji. I have to say, I think Ake might even be more nailed than him. I really do think that. I don't know. It's a weird one because, like I say, he's going to do something different this week, and I don't know what direction it's going to be with that defense. But
no one's ever nailed though, are they? In that team, you got to expect they'll just play one, and if you're lucky, they play the second in a double.
I would do Martial to Nketiah.
Yeah, no chance.
And Doherty to Akanji.
I would like to do that, but it'd be 4 Arsenal players.
Yes.
I'm talking about loading up on the double. That's a bit extreme.
I knew what Doyle was going to say before he said it, literally, and I was like, nah, no can do. We'll block that one. That's fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't get rid of Martinelli though for Odegaard, I don't think, personally. But
who would you get for Martial then? Because if he keeps with Martinelli, he has to sell Martial.
roll a transfer, right?
I feel I'm in a strong position where I can use a luxury transfer though, so that's why I want to do it. I just think Arsenal I want to get them free Arsenal win, and Martinelli ain't part of my plan for an Arsenal player at the moment.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think they're very close as options, Martinelli and Odegaard.
I still think he's got a good goal for it. I think he's good. You know, he'll be now the player who gets 1 point or 10 points a lot of the time, whereas Odegaard's going to get 7 or 8. And the way I play the game, super boring. I just like to play safe, sleep well at night.
Blanking for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. To be honest with you, just the style of player he is. He's just got those multiple blanks in him. I think Martinelli's more direct and more aggressive as a player. Yeah, okay, his minutes are a bit more of a risk, but I don't know.
Who are you playing over Martial? Did you say Andreas?
No, so that will be Akanji. I'll play for it.
He's doing Doherty to Akanji, bringing then benches Martial.
So I'll have my free Arsenal and free City.
Yeah, I wouldn't do your moves, but yeah. It's okay.
No Bamford, is it?
I'll take a proper look at this. I think it needs a bit of consultancy work. I think I'll have a
all right. Have a look, and I'll send the invoice your way.
I really don't think buying Akanji is the right move, but I also don't know what other City I'd buy. So yeah.
But then I mean, if I didn't play Akanji, I don't know. I'd probably play Andreas. Maybe I'd probably put Andreas first on the bench actually going forward. But I'd rather play a double game week player. And if I'm in this position, if I could play either Andreas or a Man City defender, I'd take the punt on the Man City defender. Whether that's Ake, Akanji, I just think there's more upside playing the double game weeker.
I think I'd then play Andreas over Shaw though, personally. I don't know. Like I think Andreas has got really good upside, and like I think it's obviously a great fixture. I think it's really close between him and a lot of your players this week. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to play James though, or I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
You wouldn't play James in that situation. He's saying if you bought Kanji, but yeah, interesting.
I don't really want to not have Shaw though, to be honest. Another assist this weekend.
you could just do Martinelli to Odegaard and roll again though and play Andreas. Like that's the other option. I think that's really good still.
Yeah, I just really fancy Odegaard. I just really like Odegaard. I think he's a great player.
No, I mean a Kanji, like not get a Kanji. So do Martinelli to Odegaard and roll, and then play Andreas. That's got to be better. Like it's just like when Andreas and Akanji, like maybe Akanji's got slightly higher expected points, but I think it's a good spot to roll again. Like and just be able to get rid of all your crap players next week, like Martial and Doherty and all the other crap ones. So yeah.
I don't mind having a Kanji though. I don't mind having a Kanji because I've got to get rid of Doherty at some point, haven't I? And even if I get a Kanji and going forward, if I'm playing him, I want a Man City defender. I don't mind that at all. They got some good fixtures coming up. If a Kanji don't play, probably ain't going to come on anyway. So then I'll have a stacked bench. So it's not really the Man City position I'm worried about if he isn't starting. It's not like a triple up where if somebody might come on for a 1-pointer.
Yeah, it's just for the double though. When he's obviously going to start one and be benched for one, you know what I mean. If that happens, like that's the worst case. You know what I mean. Almost, it's not the worst case, but that's
Yeah.
like one of the bad outcomes. Whereas like in the single game weeks, I agree, Akanji's absolutely fine. But
Yeah,
can you rely
yeah.
on him for 25 when you need him? Like that's another part to this. It's like it's tough. Like is he? Can you like because like you say, he's either going to start or not play at all. So you either get a 0 or you get the chance of the clean and the really good fixture. So yeah, it's
I think
definitely
I'd put him at sort of 75% chance of starting both. I mean, if you look at the fixtures he's played, he started every game since game week 8, apart from game week 12. He's one game in the last 14 he's missed. That's not bad, is it?
No, he's doing really well. But the point is, Laporte and Diaz are back now. They haven't been around for all those fixtures. Like Stones is injured. Okay, so that's another avenue in. Like it's like they're swapping one in and one out kind of thing. But they have got Ake. They've obviously got Laporte and Diaz back now. I don't think he's fully now. And me and Doyle, that's what we're trying to be honest. You know, what I mean, we've both got him, but
Yeah.
like I don't think he's 100% nailed. I don't know if I'd buy him this week.
I don't. I think going forward though, I do want him because there's not many options in defence, and I want a City defender. And even if he plays one game, he plays one game. But Pereira would have played one game as well, so it's not the end of the world, is it?
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Interesting.
Right, now the super team. Shall we have a look at it?
Yeah, pretty simple for me. I think this week it's going to be Bamford or Tony. Probably Tony out for Nketiah. And then it's going to be one of Rashford or Bruno out for De Bruyne, maybe for a -4. I'll figure that out after I see how good or bad Leeds are midweek. See if I want to take the hit or not. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I would bench in Shaw probably. Bench Andreas.
Would you play, and if you had the choice, would you play Shaw over Andreas?
I'd play Andreas over Shaw.
Yeah, he done the same as me. Andreas second on the bench. I'm gonna have to move him to first on the bench, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think
not too
that's it.
bad.
Not very interesting, really. Unless we hear anything about Nketiah and about Jesus being back or anything like that. But otherwise, nah. Seems fine.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Josh, going back to your team, you saying you couldn't afford Zinchenko. You not fancy a bit of Ben White like Doyle?
Absolutely not. He's not going to be starting very soon. Tomiyasu will be in the team soon.
Heard it here first. Another Josh Aldridge guarantee.
He's a better right back. He's better right back. Ben White's a good cover at centre back, but like Tomiyasu is a better right back. So Tomiyasu will be playing. Mark my words. I don't want Ben White. I think Zinchenko's got quite good attacking threat, like a little bit, not that much, but he does come into midfield sometimes. He does get forward a bit. Yeah, I like Zinchenko better, and he's just completely nailed, as I say as well. That's the other side of it, but yeah.
Well, it looks like there'll be an exciting game week ahead then. You know what we did forget to do at the beginning? We did say we was going to do Josh's like and subscribe at the beginning rather than the end, and we completely forgot.
We need to do a bit of better quickly. We got a few minutes.
Like and subscribe.
We're not doing a bit of better.
No, let's do it. We can do a bit better. Come on.
You can just clip that out, mate, and just put it at the start. Remember, that's what you normally do. So.
Oh yeah, that's what he was
okay.
meant to do last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that must have happened.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you watch the whole thing.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, just after the intro. Bit about who wants to start? I'll go first. Everton will keep a clean sheet away at Liverpool.
Oof. Okay, yeah, take that.
Wanted that one. Can't even open the fucking fixtures. My phone's so bad.
Okay, well, for my one then, I will, after all this love for Martinelli and everyone saying I shouldn't get rid of him, despite having 2 fixtures, I will say that Mitoma will score more points than double game week on Martinelli.
Yeah, fair bet. I'll take that. Can see that happening for sure, man.
And that's a no lose for you there, Doyle, because obviously if Mitoma scores, you're happy anyway.
Yeah, score.
And then on to Josh. What's he got up his sleeve? What 50-50 is he going to pull out his arse this week?
I had a good one, but I've forgotten it.
Last week we all completely bricked, by the way. It was a 0 for 3. Unless Nonto outscores Bruno or 4 of United assets take over Bruno, then you're both live. Feels unlikely.
Oh, so we basically won then, JB, us two.
Yeah,
so
probably,
fine.
yeah.
So you've lost is what you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so what other winning one are you going to do this week then, Josh, to blow it
I
up?
think... So I'm so confident on my fixture this week. I think Rashford will outscore Haaland this week. I really think they're going to go nuts against Leeds this week in both the midweek game and the weekend game. I think it's both got potential. So I'm going to hope that they brick midweek and that they go nuts at the weekend. So I'm going to go with that. I think Rashford will outscore Haaland this game week.
You're on. I will take Erling
I like
Haaland.
that.
I've got faith in Ireland.
You both took that too quick this time. I need to adjust my line back a bit, it more into the middle, so I've got more of a chance of winning. You know what I mean? It's like
should be a good game though. The atmosphere will be buzzing at Leeds. Don't have to appoint a manager in time, but it should be good.
There is some breaking news, by the way, before the end of the podcast.
Here we go.
Dun, dun, dun.
Man City are having all their Champions League titles stripped off them as a result of today's financial.
Oh dear, it's terrible.
Bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Josh, take us out.
Terrible note.
Hopefully the internet has lasted this long. Please like this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and please follow us on Twitter, which is All in FPL. And please listen to our podcast, which is on all good podcast providers.
Well done, Josh. Well done.
I'm staggered that I was still there. I thought my connection was so unstable, that didn't go through. So yeah,
about half it did. We heard about half. It's fine. We'll just get the Twitter likes. Night, guys.
See you later, everyone.
Bye, guys. Bye.